Coming up next, a video I've never done before. I am going to show you the top 5 selling perfumes right now, and I'm going to rank them as how I feel about them in order of that. So find out what these are coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. And today's video is a very cool one for me because I've never done this exact video, I don't think, in the over 1,000 or 1,200 videos I've done over the last 6-7 years. And this is talking to Maurice and Bavica today here at Osme Perfumery. What are the 5 best-selling perfumes right now? And so this is a really good indication because obviously you're talking about one of the, if not premier, boutiques in all the United States that sells so many different types of niche fragrances. This is a really good barometer of what's popular, what's viral, and what's selling well. But I'm gonna add a twist on it by then ranking my favorites. So let's get right into this. I'm gonna do a quick introduction of the 5 best. I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I will smell them each so you can kind of see. Number 5 bestseller right now is Vanilla Orchid from Precious Liquid. Vanilla Orchid, and this came out probably about 4 or 5 years ago. We've got an interesting mix here of perfumes that some that are brand new and some that literally just came out in the last year or are brand new. But Vanilla Orchid, I love Precious Liquid. I've talked about them a lot in the past if you watch my channel. And Vanilla Orchid, I gotta say, I was shocked. I would have thought it would have been one of the oud fragrances, or maybe even, gosh, I would have thought maybe salt and pepper, one of those. But this is the #1 selling one here of the Precious Liquids. And let's get right into this. Let's smell this. Yeah, you know what? It's funny, I have not smelled this in a long time. And you get that kind of vanilla, orchid, flowery, light right off the top. And what I like about Precious Liquid, even though there's a lot of dense elements in a number of the fragrances, like even the oud, everything is very approachable. Everything is very wearable, you know, and he has created some of the most famous perfumes, including Oud Wood by Tom Ford, and he has his own brand now, Precious Liquid, and has just done a masterful job, I think, of making fragrances. And by the way, he just recently upgraded his sprayers and atomizers, so now you see this wonderful sprayer. So that's number 5. I've got the strip here. Again, let me go on to the next one. And that would be, let's see here, number 4 bestseller, Odeon from Memo Paris. Odeon from Memo Paris. And this, man, again, also came out, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. So it's not a brand new fragrance. Yeah, if you are a rose fan, if you like rose fragrances whatsoever and you haven't tried Odeon, this is a must get or a must try on your nose. It has at the top what's considered Mexican rose. You know, you usually think of Bulgarian rose or rose from grass or Turkish rose when people talk about, you know, the finest roses. This uses a Mexican rose. And look at that. I love that kind of artwork on the bottle. Also has dates, tonka bean, amber, sandalwood, patchouli. So you get this very earthy, fruity, a little bit sweet. That rose is definitely different from the Bulgarian rose, which to me is more powdery. This is more, it's more of an earthy rose. And I think that's why it mixes well with those other notes that are in there, but it's not as powdery to me. So I think this one is good for very, I would say, more almost unisex, where a lot of times roses, those powdery roses, can be a little bit more feminine. All right, let's go into, we have a tie. Actually, no, I'm sorry, we don't have a tie. We have in its own place, number 3 here. We have a newer fragrance, just came out in the last 6 months or so. And this is Burgundy Oud from Atelier Materi. Atelier Materi. And, you know, recently they did an event here. I got to attend, lucky enough to attend and meet the brand's founder, the owner. And this one, see, that night, there was probably 50, 60 people here. It was really crowded. And for me, just talking to the different people walking around, this by far was the most popular. If you like that kind of like sweeter oriental fragrance with oud at the underlying base, but not a stinky oud, a very, very subtle oud, this checks all of those boxes. And again, that night, by far, of the roughly 15 or so perfumes that they have here from this brand, this was the most popular. It is good. It is popular, it's mass appealing, but yet still very niche, because this brand is, try a lot of their different ones, and I got another one coming up here that's very popular, which actually is a good transition. And we have a tie, okay, a tie for the number 2 position. And I'll go right into Atelier Materia again. This is Neroli Hasbaya. Neroli Hasbaya. What is unique about this one? Pistachio. I mean, just smelling the bottle right here, you get that amazing pistachio smell, that nuttiness, that it's like a combination of nuttiness, fruitiness, definitely the citrus from the neroli. It almost is a combination between a gourmand and a citrus fragrance with that pistachio and that kind of neroli, that sweetness. Also got orange blossom, it's got a touch of rose in here. And I was, again, shocked. So the number 5 position, the 4 position, 3 position, I was not shocked. Burgundy Oud, totally thought would be in the top 5. Neroli Hasbaya, shocker. Okay, here we go. Number 2, and this is a brand new release from Amouage, Purpose 50. Purpose 50. Okay, it's a flanker from the original Purpose, and this is just a kind of lighter incense fragrance that, with that kind of citrus bergamot top, is an interesting take on incense. One of my favorite perfumers, Quentin Bish, who is typically to me a little bit more avant-garde, works with a lot of indie houses, has done a lot of other perfumes to me that are a little bit pushing boundaries, pushing notes. This one to me is a very mass appealing fragrance that still retains that Amouage quality of being niche. Amouage, and I was talking about this with Maurice earlier, really does an excellent job of making fragrances that are mass appealing, that people are going to come in and like, that aren't necessarily niche lovers or maybe don't know a lot about niche fragrances, but yet it's still going to smell good and unique to a niche fragrance lover. They really kind of have somehow straddled that position very well. They're able to kind of keep one foot in both sides, I think, better than a lot of other houses out there. So Purpose 50, I've already smelled it a few times in the last month or so. I do like incense, it's one of my favorites. So that is one that I gotta say I'm not surprised at. And then last but not least, the number 1 selling fragrance right now here. And again, I love this fragrance. I have it in my personal collection. I did not know that it was so popular. And that is from Ubicante Paris, Amber Ruby. And by the way, they have another amber fragrance that's also a really, really top seller, but this is the newest one. And this is kind of plays on that very much, this oriental, almost like cherry type fragrance that is like the bottle, kind of very red. As you can see, it's got red berries, it's got pink pepper, it's got cherry. So to me, this is one, let me spray the bottle here for you guys. Okay. This is one I wear a lot. All right, right off the bat, you get this very almost gourmand. I would call this a gourmand. Even though amber, you don't typically think of that cherry, those red berries. It's very fruity. Fruit fragrances have been popular. They're really popular right now. So just a great brand, one of the oldest, French classic brands since the 1800s, goes back to the 1800s. They were the ones to very first use synthetic materials way back then. So they've been at the forefront of a lot, and I'm not surprised that this is there. So now that I've shown you the top 5 best-selling niche fragrances right now, let me rank them, okay? As far as my favorite, I would say coming in, I gotta smell them again. I gotta, you know, and by the way, I didn't put Burgundy Oud on a strip like I did the others, so let me do that real quick. All right. So I can be fair to everyone. All right, so let's get this going. I'm gonna come in at number 5. I'm smelling Odeon right now. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna come in at number 5 with Vanilla Orchid. This fragrance, and as it starts to dry down, it has almost like a marine kind of like salty quality to it. And orchid, vanilla, you know, those are kind of popular classic notes. And I would say I would put this at my number 5, which is also the number 5 bestseller. Let's keep going down the line. Number 4, I'm gonna put the Neroli Hasbaya. For me, nutty notes are a little bit strong for my nose. They're a little bit too kind of like, I don't know how to say, you know, for my nose, I don't like nutty gourmand. It's probably because I don't like nuts in general. I love peanuts, but I don't like a lot of the other nuts, like walnuts and, you know, although I've recently come to like pistachios. So just because that nuttiness to me, again, you know, this is one of those things that kind of evokes memories, and for most of my life I didn't like nuts. So I would put that in at number 4 just because I still really like the combination of the notes there, and as I try to evolve my mind and become more open-minded, that's one I know that eventually I'll probably love. Next, let's go. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Odeon. So just to recap, 5, Vanilla Orchid. 4, Neroli Hasbaya. 3, I'm gonna go Odeon. I'm gonna go Odeon, and this is, I like this one because I like that Mexican rose. I'll be honest, I've never smelled Mexican rose, so to have this kind of new style rose, I like how they're thinking outside the box and trying to put something out there that's a little bit different, especially with that kind of combination of, it also has magnolia, it has, what else is in here? I'm sorry. Okay, getting my camera all set up here. Sometimes I can't see everything very well. Okay, the dates, the fruit. This is one to me is a very unique rose. I love rose fragrances, so if you're looking to try something new, and I just lost the top. All right, so that would be number 3. So now we're down, since we have technically 6 fragrances here, I'm gonna have to go to, I guess it's gonna technically be top 6 as I'm ranking them this way. I'm gonna go with number 3, Burgundy Oud. Burgundy Oud at number 3. And to me, again, super mass appealing. I have other fragrances from Atelier Materie that I absolutely love. There is, well, I'll do another video because there's one that I particularly love so much that I wear it more than probably any other fragrance right now. And I'll leave that as a little teaser. But I'm gonna go my number 3, 5, 4, no. I'm getting this all messed up, my numbers in my head. So this is technically number 2 because I already went 5, 4, 3. This is number 2. So I'm gonna have then a tie for number 2, since we have 6, and that would be the New Purpose. Amouage, to me, such an amazing house. Like I told you before, I like the fact that this is very approachable, and I love incense. So the initial smell, you just get tons of incense, and I love that. I can smell incense all day. So for me, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I really love incense, and that's why I'm ranking this one so high. But I am gonna put this at number 2 with Burgundy Oud, and that's gonna leave me number 1, Amber Ruby. Again, I like it so much. I purchased it, got it right into my collection when this came out within the first week or 2. And it's just so unique. It's that cherry, the red berries, the amber. It's got this kind of oriental, like cherry flower feel that I haven't smelled a lot, or at least if I haven't really liked a lot of the fragrances. So I think Amber Ruby, out of the 5 best selling, and it's kind of funny, now that I think about it, it's almost in the exact same order of how these are being sold. So that's very, very interesting. It's only a little bit of switching around kind of at the 4 spot and the 3 spot, but other than that, my taste is pretty much in line with how things have been selling here. And so I think a lot of niche fans out there have great taste because they have the same taste as me. That's a joke. All right, so thanks everybody for watching. I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you for your support. Remember, if you like this video, you can like it, you can share it, and you can subscribe, which I really would appreciate. I'll leave you with my final thought. Don't be a wimp. Spray like a pimp. You know the rule. Don't be a wimp. Spray like a pimp.